Greetings and welcome to Stunthangar Video Hangouts. My name is Charles Carter, and I'll be your host this evening. I want to extend to you my gratitude for you watching Stunthangar Video Hangouts. If you are watching this as a replay, I want you to know that I host these YouTube live streams every Monday and Friday evening, starting at 6:45 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. So please make a note of this so you can watch or be part of the live stream. Plus, we have an after party following the live stream, which is sometimes better than the live stream portion. You must be a registered Stunthangar Forum member to find the link to be part of the live stream and the following after party. Here at Stunthangar Video Hangouts, we talk about building and flying model airplanes, sport flying, competition flying, and what you've been doing lately. To join our conversation, if you are already a member of Stunthangar Forum, you can find the link if you scroll down to the section called At the Bench. Now, if you're not a member or not logged into Stunthangar Forum, the At the Bench link will not appear. Now, if you're not a member, please register at stunthangar.com/SMF. That's Smart Men Flying. You must place a space between your real first and last name when you register. You must also use a valid email address, or Sparky, the proprietor of Stunthangar, will not approve you. If you're inclined to not come in, just enjoy watching this on YouTube, wonderful, fantastic. Please enter your questions or comments in the chat box, and I'll do my best to make your comments a part of the show. Understand, sometimes I can't get a word in myself, so be patient, and I will ask our illustrious panel your question or state your comments. By the way, you only can make comments or questions during a live stream. So, like I said earlier, I host these YouTube live streams every Monday and Friday evening, starting at 6:45 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. If you find the Stunthangar Video Hangouts that I host, or the many building videos that Sparky does on this platform, informative and enjoyable, please give us a thumbs up, subscribe, share the videos, and comments also help the Stunthangar YouTube channel grow. Please consider joining Stunthangar's YouTube channel memberships, which start at just $4.99 a month, which is less than 17 cents a day. You can also use the super chat, which is located at the bottom of the chat box, to make donations. You can only use the super chat feature during a live stream, like I said earlier, every Monday and Friday. Now, your support helps offset some of the expenses of running Stunthangar. With your memberships, you'll get special badges in the YouTube chat box, unlimited replay of member-only videos, and once a month, Sparky has a question and answer show for members only. This is Sparky's YouTube channel, and I'm in here just twice a week. So if you want to get in touch with me, go to my YouTube channel, which is Flying Control Line Stunt. That's Flying Control Line Stunt. All the letters are there. And place a comment or a question on the 2019 AMA National Championship video. That's the one that Sparky actually shot with his camera of me flying his beautiful Junar XL. And if you do that, I'll be promptly notified when you do that, and I'll quickly respond to you. I want to thank you for your past, your present, and future support. You are making it happen. Please keep the conversations family and friendly. In other words, please don't use words or do things you wouldn't say or do around your own children or grandchildren. Without any further ado, I'm going to post the link at the Stunthangar Forum now. I have a couple of things I have to do before we get going. So let me go there now and post the link. Okay, that's all in order there. And let me go to what I call the YouTube control panel. I'm going to turn my attention to another screen. Just give me a minute here. Come on, computer. All right, so let's see. All right, so we are streaming. All right, so we have 14 concurrent viewers right now. Thank you very much for that. We have Alexander III He says, good evening, Charles, and all greetings from Scotland. Have you or anyone heard from Big John? I have not heard from Big John. I did pass on some contact information to one of our people, and they're reaching out to somebody. Hopefully we can get some information tonight. I look forward to hearing some information. I'm deeply concerned about John, and we've been praying and thinking about him. So anyways, Tom Ramo says, like provided. Thank you, Tom. And then Mark Lumen says, thumbs stuck up, got all liked in easy deal. All right. Fantastic. Let me edit this this control panel a little bit. There's something I got to fix on here, and it will be off to the races. Hope everybody had a good week. Let me see. I hear someone in the in our space here. Let me close this here. Okay, that's closed, and let me go to hey, Howard. How are you doing, Howard?
I'm doing all right.
Was you able to fly today, or
No, it's crummy here. The weather is.
it was kind of crummy down here, but you know what? It was actually it was just unbearably cold for me. I think it was like 49 degrees.
Oh, it's terrible.
Yeah, I know that's kind of cold. I had to put a jacket and a hat on, but that was Carl Reed, myself, and Joe Mata. And Joe Mata didn't do any flying, but he was breaking in a 4-stroke motor, and another motor he was breaking. I think it was a OS Max 35 FP. And then Carl was flying his combat plane. He had one of those Walkerman versions, the one with the carbon fiber boom, not with the. It's an older one, but he had a good day, except for he had a muffler come apart, and that kind of cramped his style a little bit. And then I was just doing more flight trimming on my SV11 today. So I put in an adjustable push rod between the flap horn and the elevator horn, and I extended it about a 1/16 of an inch, trying to accent the up elevator. So I kind of get the elevator in advance of the flap going down, and that seemed to help a little bit. I'm still working on it. So anyways, pain in the butt.
Are you using 1-to-1 or the elevator flap to the elevator, or?
Well, I haven't even messed with that yet. It's still 1-to-1. Yeah.
Right. Same hole, same distance from the.
I hadn't even messed with that yet.
Howard Rush taught me that.
No, not me.
I think it was one of the explanations. It just the bell came on when I was, talking about distance from the control surface and the control horn, and the ratios and that Excel spreadsheet. Once you get into that and start looking at it, it starts to make a little sense.
Oh, cool. I need to have Howard's email that to me again. I had it a while ago, but I don't know what happened to it.
It can get it can get way beyond what I am, for sure. Yeah, but definitely good information. Yeah.
Oh, did I send you the program?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Did I send it to you, Charles?
A year or so ago, I remember when I first read the Paul Walker article, the trimming article. Paul referenced that you had that. And so I emailed you then, and I had it, but I don't know where it's at now.
Oh, okay. Well, I can send it again. It's cheap.
Yeah. Please do that. That'd be wonderful.
If I remember, you better write it down. If I had something to write it.
Yes. Looks like Gary Sinclair is trying to come on in.
Good. So how many trim flights did you get?
Today was like 7.
Oh, wow. Great.
Oh, yeah. You ought to have that pretty close.
It's not close enough for my taste or my liking. It's better than when I first started, but it's still not. I started to lengthen the push rod So now it's beginning when I'm flying. I could tell that now the tail is a little bit lower, because I'm advancing the up elevator. So the up's up a little bit. So it's pushing the tail down just a little bit now. So for the longest time, it was just still flying flat. And then the last adjustment, I could tell that the tail was squatting down just a tad. And so
Okay,
I don't know why. Because the elevator is in advance of the flaps going down. So when it's flying level, the elevator's up just a little bit and the air is pushing the tail down.
If there's a difference between insides and outsides, don't worry much about whether the fuselage is level. Just get it so it feels the same inside and outside.
Yeah, I know that's what
that was the issue, right, Charles? I'm
still
learning every time we talk about this. I learn something because
good. Yeah, it's still turning quicker on outsides. It's more responsive. I don't know what is the best way to explain it, but it's just more responsive on outsides versus insides. The outsides typically are smaller rounds than the inside. The inside is a much bigger round, and the outside is smaller.
So mechanically, or just for the lack of words, mechanically, a half, and just using numbers for just the sake of the conversation, a half-inch movement up results in X out there, and then a half a movement down results in a smaller X out there.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah. Which some people say, well, just fly the plane, but to me that's too much work, having to finesse one side and not the other.
Well, you'll like it better if you fix it.
Yes, oh, absolutely. Right. I'm hoping. I still haven't jigged up the plane. I really suspect there's something not straight. But I got to clear my workbench, so it was easier for me to make a new push rod because the previous one wasn't really adjustable. So I put a new push rod in there today. I mean, not today, but yesterday, and I took it out today, and now I can at least adjust it. But I ran out of time and energy.
Oh yeah, I understand that. Sorry, I'm walking around. I gotta go to Nigeria in the morning. And I'm
you do
getting some last minute. I'm gonna bring the little jet back Monday. So
how long of a flight is that?
Too long. It'll take me about 22 hours of flying, probably.
And how many stops do you make to get fuel? I imagine you get fuel.
9.
Oh, wow. I didn't expect to say that many.
Where do you go to the ocean?
Start with Wick, Scotland. Go Wick to Keflavik, then Keflavik to Narsarsuaq, Greenland. The old hump, basically. Narsarsuaq, Greenland, then Goose Bay, and then kind of home free there. Yeah. But the little it's got roughly a 4-hour range. Which equates to the most part for about 900 to 1,000 miles. But when you're going over water that you survive less than minutes in, I tend to want to stop more. It's actually fun. I'll send some photos. It's actually, I like the trip. I mean, once you hit to Iceland, especially this time of year, it's pretty picturesque. Yeah, Iceland's just flat and dark. But Greenland, flying down some of the glaciers to the Narsarsuaq makes for some pretty picturesque stuff if the weather cooperates.
Mark. Oh, go ahead, Howard. Sorry.
Well, isn't it dark now?
Almost. Yep. I've got a very short window to make from Reykjavik, to Narsarsuaq, because they won't open the airport if it's completely dark.
And you don't want to run out of gas like when they were bringing the first Pack 750 over from New Zealand to
Exactly.
California, and they left Hawaii, and then they had to dump it off the coast of California because they couldn't make it, man. Very first Pack 750 coming into the United States, never made it because they ran out of fuel and they ditched it in the ocean, man.
Yeah, well, one of the things that people say, oh, you're flying a single engine jet over the North Sea. Are you crazy? And I said, well, yeah, maybe. I mean, I used to fly military jets over there. They got single engine, you know. Yeah, did have ejection seats, but yeah, the other side of the coin with this Cirrus Vision jet, it's got a parachute. Yeah. And I got a life raft and a survival suit. So the difference there is if I have an issue at altitude, yeah, I'll pull the parachute high, put on the oxygen mask, pour a cup of tea, you know. Yeah, get the life raft by the door, put on my suit,
Put on your suit. Yep.
You know?
grab your smokes off the dash. Get your lighter. Make sure you raid the trolley for the liquor. Make sure you put a couple of liquor bottles in your suit.
Oh yeah, these airplanes are liquor free. Yeah, it's, but yeah, I don't want to get too far off there, Charles. So that's just if you see me moving around, I'll think of something else I got to put in my bag or something.
Sure, no problem. Hey, Mike, thanks for coming in, and Al, thank you for coming in. Al, appreciate that.
John Miller's doing better.
Good.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I read that.
Oh, that's great news. Oh, that's fantastic.
Yesterday didn't sound good, but
yeah, good.
Oh, that's great news.
I'll broach the subject and do it myself. If John needs anything after he gets out, I'm happy to help donate or something like that. And I know he's kind of out there by himself, and you know, I'm happy to do it personally. So we can, yeah, we'll just see how it goes. Let's get him out of the hospital first. Yeah.
Who's in the hospital?
John Miller,
With what?
Santa Claus.
Oh, he is. Oh, that's what's the matter?
You got the Rona.
Oh,
Yeah,
boy.
it appears it come on from at least the way Howard, you may have actually talked to Gordon, but I mean, from the way Gordon was saying on the that it came on pretty quick. That you know.
Well, it's
John didn't even know how he got to the hospital. Apparently, this is just by the post. So I don't want to speak out of turn, but you know.
well, it's actually hitting around here. People are first time that I actually know people that caught COVID. One's one of my employees, and another one's adjacent, then next door to me, one of their employees.
Oh, wow.
And then my brother-in-law just got it, and he went in the hospital today to get the monoclonal antibodies.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, I had an entire flight crew in the Gulfstream in Bogota, Colombia today. Went to get their PCR tests to go down to Argentina, and the whole flight crew tested positive.
Oh, wow. Yeah. Yeah. So with my guy, you know, one of my workers that got it. So, you know, I just took a couple of tests myself, and so far I'm clear.
Good. I'm glad to hear that, Al.
Yeah. So, but actually my worker doesn't have it that bad. He says, he's a young guy, he's 32, but he said he just had like a runny nose and body aches, but he's still, functioning. But my brother-in-law, he's 65, and he sounds like, really bad.
Hope he does well.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
Let me catch up on the chat box.
Sparky's got it too.
Yeah, Sparky said he had it on the
That's what Sparky
last
had.
video. He did.
How's Sparky doing?
I haven't heard. I actually texted him and I asked him how's he doing, and he told me I guess what he basically is saying is he didn't want to one by one tell everybody how he's doing. He'll do a announcement or a post or something.
Well, I saw the post.
Yeah.
He posted again?
Well, no, a few days ago.
His video.
You went on in the morning.
Yeah, I saw the video to a Tuesday morning, I think it was. Yeah, I saw the video Tuesday morning, but I haven't seen or heard anything since then. But I did reach out to him, and he didn't respond. He said he'd rather do it, kind of a blanket thing instead of onesie twosie.
Well,
anyways, getting back to the chat box, Tom Rammel says, no flying here. We are in the middle of snowstorm, 8 to 12 inches.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
Then Alexander III says, hello, Howard. Is Scotland allowed to get a copy also? I imagine he's referring to the ratios Excel spreadsheet you have.
Scotland? My
Yeah.
goodness.
That's Alexander III. Excuse me, Alexander
Okay.
III. Not Alexander the Third, but Alexander III. Pardon me, Alexander. Alexander III. He says,
Sure. Give me an email address.
So I went to a sad event tonight. I went to Ginger Scarinzi's wake.
oh,
yeah.
I saw the thread about Ginger.
Yeah, so Larry, so I met Larry's kids. His one daughter is out in California. She didn't make it, but at the other one. But they're pretty good turnout. Control line guys showed up there.
Yeah,
Oh, great.
sure.
I met Larry at the 2016 Brodax.
Yep.
And that was pretty neat to meet him.
Yeah.
And then there's a guy named, or gal, Airmaster says, hello, I am on YouTube watching. Well, thank you, Airmaster. Appreciate that. Hope you enjoy the show. It's your first time in, I believe. So, yeah, if you have any questions or comments, that's really what the show is about. So let us know how we can help you, or if you have a show and tell that you'd like to see, maybe we can do that for you.
So what's Mark, an airline pilot?
Yeah, I think he's a private
Private?
private pilot for a company or a business. Hopefully when he comes back in, he can tell you a more definitive answer. Here he is.
Okay, sorry.
So Al's the question for you, Mark.
Sure.
What kind of pilot are you?
I fly for a private individual, flies jets and helicopters, and I'm getting old and broken down pilot, basically. Yeah.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah,
interesting.
I grew up flying, old Radel engines and Beech 18s and DC-3s, and flew the 727s and DC-9s, and had a really good career. I'm kind of semi-retired now, so I can fly on the end of a handle. Yeah. Yeah.
So where do you fly out of, and where do you venture up to? Mostly.
Howard knows. Right now, he's got a polo farm here in Aiken, South Carolina, that that's where I stay now, basically. I go to Nigeria tomorrow to bring back one of our little jets, and pretty much all over the world. Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. But it's time to slow down. Yeah.
So Alexander III says, thanks, Howard. I am on Stunthangar. As soon as I get my password, I'll send it to you.
Okay.
Yeah, that happened to a lot of people, Alexander III. Yeah, hopefully you can do it on your own, because I don't know if Sparky is manning the or if he has someone else. I know Sparky normally does all the approving to get in and out with the your username and password. So hopefully you can remember your old password or find it. Anyways, let me go on. Mike Rigel says, I'm sick as a dog myself. I'm pretty sure it's not COVID. I have bad lungs, and every year when cold weather comes, all I have to do is breathe that air, and then I have coughing fits for days. Well, hopefully this will pass very soon for you, Mike Rigel. And looks like Mike Lonke, you got your plane. All right.
He's got the box. I
Got the box. Oh my goodness, that's awesome.
That's a toy.
I got a box. I got a box from Uzbekistan.
Yes.
There might be something cool inside of there. I don't know. I'm not sure.
Are you gonna do a reveal? I got you.
Yeah, I am. But I gotta get Sam out here to kind of aim the Chromebook, and what my plan was to flip open the box and show you how it's all packed in there as the take apart. And then I'll pull all the pieces out, and then you can go back to doing what you're doing. And then we're going to take it inside on the kitchen island, and I'll do just a loose assembly of all, put it together so you can see the completed airplane. So what's in the box?
Fantastic, Mike. I'm glad you got there in several pieces.
No, it was in a beautifully built crate. It was in a, I mean, that's the box that Sherratt builds for travel, right? But that box was in a crate that was foam lined and then wrapped in some kind of muslin. So it was very protected. And even the outside crate was not damaged when it got here. There wasn't any corners missing or anything like that. So everything survived very well. And I was actually really surprised. It had a sticker on it for BNA, which is Nashville. It was flown right into to Nashville when it got into the country.
Where'd you pick it up?
It came to my house with my mail carrier. My mailman dropped it off.
Oh boy,
Hey,
that's nice.
Yeah. United States Postal Service dropped. My mailman pulled up in my driveway. I was out here in the garage and I heard him pull up, and I was like, and I wasn't expecting this thing because it took 13 days from the day Sherratt shipped it from Uzbekistan to get to my house. 13 days it made it. I wasn't expecting it. When the mailman pulled up and he's like, I got a box for you. It's kind of big. I thought it was my wife with a bunch of Amazon stuff for Christmas. And as soon as he pulled it out, and it had all this tape on it that said Uzbekistan, I was like, holy cow, that's my airplane. I can't believe it.
The new phone book's here.
Yeah, I'm somebody. Yeah, but yeah, less than 2 weeks from Uzbekistan. So, but we'll show it when I can get Sam out here to hold the laptop, and then, like I said, we'll do the.
no problem.
Yeah,
Give me,
Hey, Charles.
Hey, what's up? How's it going, Brent?
Howdy.
And Gordon Delaney.
Hey,
Hi,
Gordon. How you doing, Gordon?
Gordon, how you doing, man?
Good. I talked to John Miller today.
All right.
Good.
He's coherent. He didn't know how he got to the hospital, but I could actually carry a conversation on with him today.
Good.
Oh, that's great. Oh, that's awesome.
That's a good sign.
Absolutely.
So I thought I'd check you guys and let you know what was going on with him.
Yeah, thank you.
I appreciate that. I've been curious.
Yeah, Jim Rhodes is in rehab. So those that know Jim can pretend like they're exercising with Jim.
Right.
Anyway, we'll let you guys go. I just wanted to know what was going on with John.
Appreciate that. Now, what's Jim Rhodes in rehab from?
They're in Salt Lake.
He had pancreatitis and bladder problems, and he was just on his back for 2 weeks. So he lost a lot of strength just from being on his back for 2 weeks. So
Oh,
he's got to
Okay.
get balance, and he's got to get some strength back in his legs.
Hey, Gordon. Gordon, I'm Mike from Nashville. We spoke on the phone today for about 30 minutes.
Oh, Mike.
I just thought you'd want to see my face since we never met in person.
I don't
But,
think he does.
Thank you for taking my call, and I appreciate talking to you.
Well, we had a nice conversation.
Trying to
Yes,
find
we did. I enjoyed it very much.
Your glasses are crooked, Gordon.
It's Howard. I'm still working on trying to get the right set of plans, Howard. So anyway, we'll let you guys have at it. And Mike, it was good talking to you today. And Howard, it was nice
You
talking
too.
to you today.
All right,
Okay.
Gordon. Well, make yourself come back again when you're when you feel up to it. Come back in.
Yeah, Gordon, I hope to be able to meet you in person sometime, maybe at the Nats or maybe you get to come to the Las Vegas contest next year, because I'm definitely going back to that one again. So
You're not missing anything. Isn't that right, Howard?
By what?
By wanting to meet me.
oh,
If you haven't heard all the stories yet, you ought to go through them a couple times.
yeah, I got a few from him today, Howard.
Right.
Oh, okay.
I didn't know Gordon was an old combat flyer, so we got talking about combat stuff and
Oh, yeah.
Riley Wooten and Quickers and Challengers and all that stuff, and that was a great conversation, man. I appreciated talking to you.
Yeah, Howard and I flew down to Merced. We had a pretty good match, but I lost. It was
Well,
fun.
I have one airplane signed by a combat legend that built it, which is a Nemesis. Maybe I'll have to build one of yours and bring it to you so you can sign it for me too.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah. If you fly a Challenger, you'll never fly it, go back to a Nemesis.
Oh, whoa, that's some smack talking there. That's some smack talking.
Yeah,
Wow.
that's Jim Womack. Jim
Wow.
Womack built 4 Nemesis. And he finally switched over to Challengers.
Okay.
There's a guy on Stunthangar named Jim Warwick. Is it
No, he's,
some relative of his, or?
I think it's a different guy.
Well, obviously, but
Yeah, there's it's kind of like there's another Robert Whiteley on there as well. So
Oh, Whitley, isn't it?
Right.
yeah,
Whitley. Yeah.
Yeah, not Whiteley.
yeah, I first got beat by Jim in 1961.
Yeah.
A memorable day.
Did I ever tell you how we met?
No. Well, you probably did, but I don't remember.
Remember. I'll refresh your memory.
All right.
This should be number 3. When he moved to Salt Lake from New Mexico, Albuquerque, he stopped in at the hobby shop and wanted to know if anybody flew combat. Well, they gave him my name and phone number. Well, then I stopped in the hobby shop. I says, hey, a guy from Albuquerque flies combat. Here's his name and phone number. Well, we'd gone out flying a couple of times and finally I said, I better call that guy and invite him out. So I called him and the phone didn't ring, but I could hear somebody dialing at the other end. And he says, who's this? Who do you want? I said, well, I'm looking for Jim Womack. He said, this is Jim Womack. Who do you want? He says, I'm looking for Gordon Delaney. And our phone.
Oh, wow.
He was calling me at the same time I was calling him. And we hit it off that way and we're best friends afterwards.
That's happened more often than you think. You pick up the phone to dial a number and somebody's on the other side. Back when it was all analog stuff,
Yeah.
I've actually, my sister was an information operator for 411, and I have called information, and my sister answered number, name, and city, please. And I've gotten my sister on the other end of the line. So
What's the odds?
yeah, it's pretty crazy. But Gordon, I really enjoyed talking to you. And I'll tell you, after talking to Gordon for about 30 minutes at the end of the conversation, after we talked about combat, he says, man, you got to move your family out to Utah. You got to come out here because we need more people out here flying.
Yeah, but I can't fly it anymore, so I need people to fly my stuff.
Gordon's he's Josh, and he flies from a lawn chair. So we rev up the Nelson and let it loose, and he flies from a lawn chair.
Oh, that's awesome. A Nelly from the lawn chair. That's great. That's great.
Got a video of it.
My reflexes are okay. It's just my feet won't hold me up.
Sure.
Tilt my head back and I keep going. Well, anyway, we'll let you guys take care. Good seeing you there, Howard, and meeting you, Mike. So you kids have a good night.
All right. Thanks, Gordon. Thanks for coming in.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
Nice to see him. Thank
Hey,
you, Brent.
Brent.
Yeah,
Good night.
See ya. See ya.
Well, don't see him hard on there. I just talked to him today.
So, Robert Whitley, he says, good evening, all. That's hopeful news about John. I inquired on the forum and about if anyone had checked on John's cat, but no response. Does anybody here know if his house has been checked on? I don't know. Probably
John's cat.
could have asked Brent Williams there or Gordon.
His stepdaughter's taking care of the cat.
Oh, good.
All right. Well, there you go, Robert. Now you know.
Disaster averted. There we go.
Good. We got to say Pathfinder at least 5 or 6 times anyways.
Oh, we got
Yeah.
you tonight. Yeah. Gotta lift up Pathfinder. Hey, Brendan, thanks for coming in.
Hey, how we doing, everybody?
Doing well, man. Doing well. And I see
Hey.
Bill Irvin is in, or he's starting to connect.
Hey, I learned a valuable lesson. My Igor Prop balancer, I hadn't used it in probably well over a year because I bought a bunch of props because we break them
Right.
left and right. So I bought a ton of them, balanced a ton of them, and they haven't touched it in over a year. And then it got stuck together. That thing was like just solid. So I had to get some pliers out here and just really crank on this thing and put penetrating oil. So I guess if you leave your prop balancer together, that thing will weld together. Finally got
Wow.
it. Lesson learned.
Yeah, I didn't know that happens.
Yeah, so that's my advice to people. If you're gonna not touch that thing for a while, I'd take it apart. So
Good
So,
tip.
have you been flying, or is it too cold back there in PA?
you know what? Actually, today was 50, but with it getting dark so early, I got home from work at 3:30, and by the time I charge up batteries, we can't fly. I'm still hoping to get a couple warm days to tune some things in. I'm trying to get our motors set up in a way that I can get 5.5-minute flights out of them. I keep running into electrical issues where I just can't get the balance right to be able to get enough juice and the right size motors and whatnot to slap on these planes to get us 5.5-minute flights. I can get us 3.5, 4-minute flights, and Angstrom's coming along with a lot of stuff. The problem is I just need a setup that can get me a full flight time. So it's something I'm trying to figure out before it gets too cold on us, so that hopefully I can start slapping that setup on some planes so that in springtime we can fly full flights. But right now I'm having a hard time doing it.
Yeah. Now, do you have a watt meter so you can see how many amps you're pulling, so you can kind of see what you need to do?
Yeah, I've got that. Trian's kind of hooked me up with that in the past. I don't know, these batteries, I'm finding that there's kind of a sweet spot in the ESCs and how many RPMs you can kind of run through things. And I don't know, it's just a constant test on things, trying to figure out, sweet spots to get the whole system going.
How much are you putting back in the battery when you charge it from a flight? Say you do a 3-minute flight or a 4-minute flight.
Yeah, that's just it. I've been taking them, and I know how to do the calculations of running it back through the charging unit and charging it all the way up and whatnot. And I find that you don't want to fly the batteries down below 20%. And so in doing my calculations, everything just ends up being that I get about 4.5 minutes, out of these batteries before I would get below 20%. So I'm just not quite where I want to be with things. The other thing that's happened with me is in buying some of these motors, and buying a cheaper motor, I didn't really know what I was getting into. And it seems like for these motors I bought that they have, I think, 10 magnets in them. And when you're running like 760 kilovolt motors, I think the norm's like a 14 magnets in there. And for some reason, just kind of flying that with my setup on some Phoenix ESCs and stuff, just the math doesn't calculate right to be able to have a good range of being able to change the throttle settings, the RPM settings. So I think it's just that I got some motors, you know, again, I was kind of on the cheap side of things. Didn't know what I was getting into, but I think the motors just don't have the right amount of magnets in it, and therefore throws it off from what the norm is that most people are flying with.
Yeah.
So, it's been a learning process, I'll put it that way.
Yeah, I just went through it, setting up the vector, kind of a learning process there with the batteries. But I ended up with a 2800 milliamp, you know, with the motor I have is a little bit bigger motor, is a 3542, you know, and I'm running about 375 milliamps per minute. Yeah, so that takes me right down to about, I mean, ending voltage. It takes me right down to about 3.6, or excuse me, 3.7, 3.8, you know, on the ending voltage. So that's just about a storage charge. So I'm going to leave it alone. Yeah.
Steve says he's trying to get in, but he's got a bunch of storms up in Michigan. He keeps getting knocked off. He's got to reboot and all that. And we are expecting tornadoes tonight in Tennessee, midnight through 5 a.m. We've got some really gnarly stuff coming through. So
Just had some bad weather the other night too, right?
yeah, we did. But we're on a watch. No, we're on a warning. What's the difference? I always get them mixed up.
I don't. A watch.
We're
I
on,
think is
we're on the low key one right now. They haven't been cited, but yeah. I fully expect to lose power and internet tonight at some point.
Brendan, did you reset your ESC for the 10-pole motor?
What's that?
yeah.
Did you set your ESC for the 10-pole motor? There's a setting in there that you pick the number of poles in your motor.
Yeah, I've changed around the battery calculations and stuff. Yeah, the main thing that I'm finding is I think it's just really the magnets that are associated with my motor. It really screws up the calculations that the Castle Creations ESC software says is within a normal range. Because I've gotten some ESC settings from other people and kind of seen other people's setups, so I can plug those numbers into the software and kind of see where the range is and the sweet spot for things. And the fact that I have 10 magnets in my motors as opposed to 14, it just really throws off the math. And then I've been trying to fly these things, and what happens is that I find that no matter what I do kind of with adjusting the RPMs or the even the prop size and whatnot, I can't get it down to anything that's slower than like a 4.6, 4.5 second lap speed. So it's the motor that's the issue.
Well, it would be the KV of the motor rather than the number of poles. Number of poles you should be able to accommodate.
What timer are you using? Are you using a timer?
I'm using a Will Hubin FM9 timer.
Right, with the Castle 35 or which?
Yeah, I use either a Phoenix 35 or a Talon 35. I actually have a couple of Phoenix 45s that I've been using with my bigger motor. So I'm going to do a little bit of shopping online for motors and see if I can find a couple others that look better.
Yeah, because at least, and this is just speaking from experience with the KR timer, totally different scenario. But I know at some point, some of and Howard and any of the electric guys, correct me when I'm wrong, you know, you have to turn the governor function off in some cases.
Yeah, I will say this. I was able to talk with Will Hubin, who developed the timer.
You're on the right track. Yeah.
What's that?
You must be on the right track then if you're talking to him. So that's
Yeah. So the one thing that I learned in the process is I was always kind of told about the high governor mode and running things in the high governor mode. And when you use that programmer to program the timer, you can set it by RPMs. Well, I was running into issues again with things. And so he put me on to his timer. His programmer's got a throttle mode that if you put it in low governor mode and use it by throttle mode, that you can, maybe get a better range out of things and whatnot. So I've learned kind of going back and forth and trying these things. But again, with all these tricks and things I've been trying, I still come back to, I think I've been trying to make these motors work on my Pathfinder, on the Giles we got. And the reality is it's just not the right motor for everything else that I have. So I'm just gonna, it's the motor that's the issue.
Right. Yeah.
Because I have 4S batteries, I got 5S batteries, and just I'm finding I'm not able to get in the right range. But I'm reading other people's stuff and setups where with these types of planes, they're able to use 5S batteries and kind of get what they want out of things. So again, I'm arriving at that it's the motor. I will ask this one. So if I have a motor that can spin a 11-inch prop and a 12-inch prop and everything's the same, if I got a 11.4 and then I go to a 12.4, well, the fact that I've gone up to a 12.4, well, should that be pulling the plane that much faster? Is that the general rule of thumb?
I don't think so. I would think it would. I mean,
Well,
you get more speed with the pitch, not so much diameter, but the pitch.
Because I'm wondering, because the plane's going too fast, and I've been putting like an 11.5 on there, or 11.5.5. I'm wondering if I do like a 12.5.5 or a 12.4. I thought that the bigger prop would take it that much faster, but because it's bigger, would it actually slow down work the motor harder? Therefore, it's kind of slowing it down.
Are you doing 4 or 5 lap times, you said?
Yeah, it's because the way the ESC is, I don't have enough of range to adjust it lower.
RPM.
Why would you want to make the airplane go slower though if you got 4.5 second lap times?
Because
He wants a 5.1 or 5.2.
Yeah, the sweet
In that
speed
area.
most people have fed me is that it's a 5 second lap time.
Oh yeah. I'm sorry. I was thinking the other way. And your pitch, your diameter thing screwed me up. I don't think going to a bigger diameter is going to slow it down if you're running the same pitch.
That's the main question. I want to know if a bigger, going up in diameter would slow it down at all. If anything, I would think it would speed it up.
If you go up, then you got to go down in pitch one. You need a flatter pitch.
You
get
got
the
something
same
that's
result.
not set right.
Yeah, I think Howard
Don't
just
try
said
to
it
get
there.
around it with a prop.
Yeah.
Well, the governor function, this is just reading, and I only know about the one timer I have, but the governor function is very critical in that it has as you're saying, Brennan, it has a range of RPMs, If you try to get to that lower range on the RPM, then it switches back to the ESC, because it won't handle that range. And then who knows what the setting in the ESC is as far as the RPM goes.
Yeah, I think that's what I've been running into is that, if I'm not cognizant of that range that the software gives me and I go out to the field and I drop it out of those ranges, it doesn't govern correctly. And that's where I keep running into these like 4.4 second laps or it gets wildly crazy. But when I'm within those ranges, I still can't get it to a reasonable lap speed. It's always fast.
You tried like a 10.4 or something?
Yeah, I shrunk it down. Yeah, that's what I went to, and it got a little bit better, but it still was just that plane was rip roaring. The planes are rip roaring, and so I'm getting frustrated. But again, I think I've been trying to handle this now for about 4 months, just doing some tests, working different things, trying to get more knowledgeable on it. And the thing I've arrived at is these motors and just the magnets associated with them, I think, are one of the biggest players in the factors.
Well, I flew a Cuban timer and a Castle ESC and a 10-pole motor made the team and stunt. Seemed to work.
Well, it's going to be some. I still think it's these motors. They're the Exceed Rocket. I mean, you can get them for like $15, $17 online. I think that may have something to do with it.
They go real fast. We know that.
Yeah, they go fast. Do you have a tachometer?
Yeah, I do have a tachometer. My son's loving it though. He preferred to just have that thing whipping around as fast as humanly possible. So I think he's more of a speed flyer. But
Yeah.
I don't know. I still tell him I'd like to get into a little bit more stunning, not just sitting here flying this thing around getting 4.5 second laps.
Yeah, I think the answer is probably you're gonna have to get yourself a tech.
They're becoming a limited edition, though.
Let me interrupt for a second. Hey, Carl, thanks for coming in. And thank you,
You're
John.
welcome.
Thank you, Tryanne, and thank you, Tom, and Robert Whitley. Thank you for coming in. Appreciate that. And on the chat box, we have Dennis Adamiston. He says, hi, everybody. Be there in a while. Like delivered. And Jack Snappy says, hello, all. All right, we can go back.
Good. Yeah, it's got to be frustrating. With the, but it just seems like that governing function is just not working correctly, Brendan. I mean, like you say, if the range of the RPM is out of the range of the timer that is set for, it's going to just argue back and forth with ESC, from what I understand. Yeah, that's what I've read. Yeah.
Well, like I said,
at least
it's been helpful that I did get a couple of programs, ESC programs that folks gave me of like setups that were working really well for them. So I was able to plug that into my software program and just see their range and get a sense of, okay, this is working for them. This works on these models. That looks good. And I've come to realize that, looking at my motor and whatnot, I can't get the same type of setting or range that, these other folks are arriving at. So again, I come back to, it seems like the motors are not effective for what I'm trying to do. So.
Hobby King are badass. Just order a whole pile of them.
Yeah. Take my wallet now.
Actually, electric doesn't really take your wallet. If you think about it, how much is an IC motor? 200 plus, easy, right?
Yeah.
Our take my wallet electric motors are $70.
Right.
And a tech.
I think the badass is like the bigger ones that we are using, like about $70, right?
$78 for that.
Somewhere over there, yeah.
All right, here you go. Okay, here's the reveal coming.
Uh-oh.
Can we see what's going on? Back up a little bit.
Oh, yeah.
Now, can you see it? All right. All right, here we go.
You got an alarm on that? Okay.
Now, there's the box. I don't think this box is beefy enough for airline travel, though. That's the thing. It's a good
case for carry on, Mike.
You can't carry this on. It's too big. It's too big for carry on.
Okay.
Yeah, it's not. You got to check it. It's got to go checked. It's good enough to put in your car to drive to something like that, but the baggage handlers are going to beat the hell out of this box. I'll tell you that. So we're going to beef that up. I'm thinking like some of the that's on amplifiers, right? That musicians use, cover it in amplifier material, and then it definitely needs some metal corner caps to keep the corners from getting bashed in. So that's
Mike, yeah, Mike, go to reliablehardware.com. They sell all of the stuff that you need to make exact that case. Corners, materials, laminations, everything for a DIY project.
okay. All right. I'll check it out.
Reliable hardware.
All right. So as we open it up,
Prop.
come in, Sam. You can, and then just take it, like go right
Yeah,
there.
ask me how I know that.
Go down. So we'll take the wings out first. The wings are in the top. This is nice. These are magnetic right here. And then your props come out.
Hey, look at those props.
Look at those props. Two of the props from your buddy, and then the other one is the one that Steve Hines sent me, the Igor prop. So I got one Igor and then two of the other ones. There's one wing.
Look at that. Nice.
I'm gonna go fast on this too because I wanted to show you how it was packed, and then Sam and I are gonna take it in and actually put it together. And you know, he did do some foam bags for the pieces. They're not gonna last, obviously. So I'm gonna have to. I'm gonna go in the RC community and get some real wing bags made and fuselage bags. Because this is just, you know, like foam packing material,
Right.
which, you know, that's not going to cut it. It needs real wing bags. But
Like,
this,
are they pretty good dimensions for the one that was the original packed foam things?
yes, and I'm gonna keep those, and I'm actually going to send them to a lady that makes RC wing bags. I've already got a contact. I know someone that does it. So
Okay.
um,
If you
and
don't
there's-
have one, I have one that they make very nice bags.
okay. And there's the inboard wing with the lead outs.
Nice.
And then there's the lead outs on the inboard wing. And,
Are the lead outs wrapped or crimped?
well,
Good question.
they're just like combat lead outs, Al. They're cable soldered to a solid wire. I know that's probably hard to see, but it's cable soldered and wrapped to a solid wire. And then he does have, this is kind of like a slide. Let me put it up against my shirt here. So there you go. Now you can
Okay,
see it.
see better.
It's a slide connector
Oh, okay.
with an aluminum crimp.
Oh, so they're solid. They're solids. Okay.
They're solids, yes.
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah.
Lead out
There's-
was solids?
Well, they're solids at the end, Al,
Oh,
at the very end, but this is cable. This is
Okay.
cable.
Oh, I see. He's got swedged on. Gotcha.
Yeah, but that swedge slides to open up
Right.
right.
to
So
that.
Connectors. Cool.
So you're right. You don't need a connector. You just put your eyelet or your thimble onto that and pull that swedge up, and then it's closed.
Mhm.
But this is put on just like the European combat planes.
Right.
Same way, solid on the end, wrapped and soldered to a cable.
Not the stainless cable that we use, but they use like picture hanging wire.
Try to lift it up and point it down a little bit. Try to point it right in the box. There you go. All
Is
right.
that painted or a film covering, Mike?
It's painted. So there's one half of the elevator.
Is the underside painted too, Mike, or is the underside all white?
Wheels.
There's the back half of the fuselage. And this already has the push rod is in there. And the elevator joiner wire is already installed. Underneath that is the other hat of the elevator.
Both sides white.
And one half of the elevator already has the joiner glued in. This is permanent, this joiner.
Okay.
So when you put this together, there's just one hex bolt that goes in there to join this together when it's in the fuselage. Just on one side. Just on one side.
It's like a square carbon tube, huh?
Now we got the front half of the fuselage. That's the front half. And there is the
Is that a 4 or a 5?
the flap. There is no 5. This is a 4. There is no 5.
Okay. Okay.
There's the flap, joiner, wire. If you look here, you can see the connection for the wing, one in the back, and one on the top and bottom on each side. And other
What
side.
holds the fuse halves together?
One on the top, one on the bottom. I'll get to that, Phil. Just give me a second.
Okay. Okay. That is so pretty.
One on the back. There are the connections for the bell crank. And again, it's the same kind of setup. Those are solids.
Right.
You know, with a little bit aluminum crimp kind of deal. That's a slider to close it off. On the fuselage joiner,
Oh, there you go. Okay.
one on each side on the bottom and one on the top.
That is really nice.
And then, of course, this is the E version, so there's no pipe tunnel or anything on the cowl. There is a nice big hatch here. And that's what you get.
That is nice.
A lot of room there.
That is nice.
Big
Yeah.
hatch, a lot of room inside. And of course, the motor mount is already installed up front.
Very nice.
Yeah. Hey, Mike, is there a place to mount your Igor timer? Do they make a pocket or anything in there?
Well, no, there's no real pockets, but the nice thing is, let me see if I can get a picture of it.
You can mount a 6-pack
That-
in
The plywood that's inside that compartment is not right up against the shell, the exterior of the airplane.
Yeah, that'll be where the ESC and stuff goes. But the timer mounts like 40% back from the wing or something. I forget what it is. So far back from the high point of the wing.
Yeah, they like around the CG place.
Okay, go ahead.
So it'd be something in.
Well, I'll have to figure all that out, you know. I just got the damn thing, so.
Yeah, well, I just wondered if you look in the other end of it, where it hooks up, if there's a platform or something in there, it looks like a flat place.
I am not seeing one. All I'm seeing
it'd be back by the canopy, Mike. You'd have to look in that part of it.
the canopy or the hatch.
No, see where the canopy's at on the plane right now. Look in that side of it. Now look. Yeah, there you go. Is there
No, I don't see anything in there. No, as far as to be able to mount something. No.
You're gonna have to make up a mount then, and
Why do you have to make up a mount, Steve?
you don't want your timer flopping around.
A double stick Velcro.
Yeah, to what, air?
Sticky back.
Yeah, what is he gonna stick it to? Air?
Okay.
Well, I mean,
Be rude.
You know, it's gonna have to. It's gonna have to be stuck to some kind of a mount, a platform or whatever you want to call it.
Yeah, it's easy.
Not necessary. If the bottom is flat, it's horizontal. You put a piece of Velcro on the bottom. That's a sticky back Velcro with a stuff on top. Put a Velcro on your timer and stuff it in there. You don't need a mount or anything like that. Don't need a mount for everything.
well, I guess I'll cross that bridge when I come to it because I don't really. Why does it have to be that far? why does ESC have to go all the way back here, man?
Not
No,
the
it says
ESC,
it's
the
usually gonna be
timer,
next
Mike.
where the
The
CG
timer.
is.
The timer.
The
If it's
timer has
active
to be
timer.
back so far from the CG.
All right, Mike, if it's an active timer, it's best to put the active part of the timer close to the CG location.
Okay. I got it.
That's
that
not
because
what
of the-
that's not what they say in the directions. But when
Well,
you
how-
get directions,
how-
they'll tell you how far to go back.
Howard will tell me where to put the timer when I start emailing him, when I start putting this stuff together. Howard will tell me, because he's using the same tower. Or if, I'll ask Howard. I'll ask Paul Walker, because I've been talking to him. I'll ask Chris Cox. I've been talking to him.
Igor.
We're all using the same timer. So I'm sure between the three of those guys, one of them will be able to tell me where to put it correctly.
What timer are you going to use?
Igor.
Is that because of the accelerometers? Is
Yeah.
it suggest near the
Yeah.
CG? That
It's
makes
so
sense.
far back from the CG, and it's got to be 100% flat, going, up and down and left and right, or whatever you want to call it. It can't tip.
Well, we'll get there. We'll get there, I'm sure.
Oh, yeah. I just wondered if he maybe already had a place in there that was set up for that Igor, because when I build my stuff, I figure that out and have a level place that's level in two axes, and then that's when I stick it on. But because if you get that thing tipped or whatever, it won't fly right. And that's why when you trim it out, you can put pieces of tape under one side to make it do different things, and you'll see all of it in the directions.
Well,
Okay. Well, we'll get there. It's a process for me. I'm on a journey right now, man. I'm on a journey,
Yeah.
and I got some parts, and I got the airframe. All the other stuff is ordered and on the way. My battery shipped from Thunder Power day before yesterday, so that was good news because I had heard that the Thunder Power Black Friday sale, sometimes people had to wait till January or February to get their batteries, but I got a shipping notice 2 days ago. So my 6S batteries are on the way, and all my RC batteries for my RC planes are on the way too.
Hey, Howard, do you know offhand how far it goes back from the CG?
I think mine's at 70% cord.
Forward of the CG?
From the 70% from the leading edge back.
Yeah. So yeah, it's got to go. It's got to go a fair amount behind the CG. I forget where I could measure. I could see where Samantha's is from the leading edge, how far it went back. But yeah, that was all built in when we built the airplane and had everything level on the table. And we built that platform in a little mounting area.
Yeah, I don't
Hey,
remember.
Howard, you're in Washington, aren't you?
Yes.
Do you know anyone that from your club or anybody you know that's going off to that sale that was in Northwest Lines there at Pierce County Airport on Sunday?
Yes.
I wonder if you might be able to do some suckhole on my behalf. I'd be happy to pay a modest commission to try and score those 2 super daggers that were going for $100. But it's cash only on site.
I'm getting them. Yeah.
He's
you're
already
already
buying
scoring them, are
Yeah,
you?
the 60s.
Yeah.
They're
Okay,
spoken
so
for.
I figured those would be grabbed up, so I'm SOL. Yeah.
I hope they're saving for me.
If you ever decide that you don't want to keep them, Howard, give me a call.
Right. For
Okay, I offered more than 100 for them, by the way.
Oh, okay.
What are the Tom Lays?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have one of those. That's a great running motor.
Yeah,
Hey, look what I
welcome
got
to
today.
people who came in. What'd you get there, Steve? Oh, wow, the tut and the
mount
and the bycast.
No, that's the mount.
Very good.
I'll tell you what, if
welcome,
anyone needs any electronic stuff made up, Tom does one hell of a job for 50 cents an hour. I tell you.
It's
Seen
real
that.
good, yeah.
I mean that.
Very
Oh
good.
my God.
You keep sniffing around that, you're gonna get shocked. Goofy dog.
Let me thank the people who came in. I appreciate you guys coming in. Thank you, Phil, for coming in, and Daryl Hawkins, and Lynn Burrell, and Steve.
Nice.
Thanks for coming in. I appreciate it.
Hey, Lynn.
Hey, how are you, Phil?
Doing great.
Good stuff.
I can't wait to
Hey,
get my
Lynn.
Christmas tree
Hey.
doing that. Mine's
Good to see you
mine's
guys.
still laying here in pieces.
Yeah, I got it up in the last week or so. It's all together again. Good for a few weeks, then we'll be tearing it all down again.
Yeah, 2 weeks and we'll be taking it down again. That's right.
I was gonna do ours today too, but got tied up with stuff. We call it the seasonal cat toy. We got all cat friendly ornaments for it.
Yeah.
we had to build a brace, like a fence to go around ours, because like I say, the tree turns, and it's got a train in it. We got this year 5-year-old grandson, but last year is 4, and he's trying to touch everything, and I was afraid the whole tree was going to come down, so we ended up building a 2x4 frame to go around it, and then covering it in mesh so he can see through it, but he can't touch anything, and it worked well. So
Cattle prod.
I don't know whether do what.
Cattle
prod.
Cattle prod.
This year we got the terrorist, my little dog, and I don't know how that's going to work out.
You live anywhere near Raleigh?
He's my little terrorist. Every time I come in, I sit down. I'm so pooped, I think I can't move. He starts bouncing on me, jumping up, and hitting me with his front feet, and fall back down. That's his code for all right. It's time to go out.
Phil,
Oh, this dog.
Phil, do you live anywhere near Raleigh?
About 2 hours. I have a bunch of friends in Raleigh. I go down and fly sailplane with them.
Jose Modesto is looking for somebody in Raleigh. I know not why.
Well, I'd be glad to hunt him up for him. I'm going down next week.
He put a note on the forum, so.
Okay,
Yeah,
I never get on the forums anymore.
Let's get back to Mikey. I want to see the rest of that airplane.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah.
No, that's all right.
I think he's gonna go into his kitchen for the island and put it together on the island. He said in his kitchen.
Yeah.
So he's probably
gonna-
setting that up.
What Will Davis tells me, putting that thing together is not a 5-minute job.
No.
By the way, Al, I got the prop. Thank you so much, and we'll try it out in the morning.
It showed up in one piece.
Oh yeah,
Good.
sure did. Beautiful. Way you had it packed, it couldn't help but. That thing you did a good job. That's nice. But I was so tickled to get it.
Yeah.
What?
I'm curious to see how how it works for you.
I'll find out in the morning. I'm going out there and the plane only has 3 flights on it. And I thought I had a 9.5 on it. And I had a 9.55. So I was wondering why I was having to run the motor so darn slow to get it down where I could fly it. But now I'll be able to speed it up a little bit and see what happens. But I'm going to try. The first flight will be with a 9.5.
Right.
And then probably the third flight will be with the 9.5 West 9.6. But anyway, with that prop.
0.6 by 3.75.
Yeah, that's just too many numbers, man. I can't remember all that.
But it pulls good.
Now, if it works, that's what I'm gonna get. But I'll have to get in touch with APC and see about ordering a dozen of them.
Yeah, I originally bought those for speed limit combat, and they work really well. But when you start to do multiple maneuvers, when you're being evasive, they were too much load on the engine.
Yeah.
There was just too much load. But flat flying and just single maneuvers, it was great. But when you start to have to, you're running from somebody and you turn, and after the second turn, it was just the engine was laboring too much.
Yeah.
So that's why I bought like 10 of them. I said, oh, this is going to be great for combat,
Yeah.
Then we just tried it on the LA-25s and the Rodak 25, and it turned out to be a great prop. I had it on my Nobler. Yeah. It pulls my Nobler with an LA-20, my Nobler with the LA-25. That prop pulls it nice.
I had a LA-25 on mine to start with, and the guys kept telling me that's just not near enough motor, and everybody kept telling me it's just not near enough motor. So I very stupidly gave in and put a 40 on it. Took the 25 off, put the 40 on. I wish I'd left it with a 25 because honestly, it flew better.
Yeah.
The weight balance was perfect, and it just went so well. I mean, everybody says it's just not enough motor, but you can't tell me that an LA 25 don't make more power than a Fox 35. I just don't believe it.
I agree.
So I don't know, but
I mean,
I don't. There won't be another ARF Nobler in my future, but there may be another green box Nobler. I do have a kit downstairs. I'm thinking serious about building. I just love a Nobler. I can't help it.
well, after my honest opinion,
Bring it in.
I flew a lot of Fox 35 Noblers and my LA 25 Nobler back and back. And the Fox 35 does have more power. You know?
It does.
Yeah,
Wow.
it'll pull a. My Nobler is extremely light, at 43 ounces or 42 ounces with the LA. But with a 10.6 on a good, I'm talking a good running Fox 35, it's better in the maneuvers. You know, it has more power.
I'm glad to hear that, Al, because that's what I've got on mine, and I was always wishing I'd put an LA on it, but now I'm not.
I mean, I got my LA 25 souped up. You know, I'm a motor.
Okay, yeah, for
yeah.
sure.
No, so and I have a Brian Gardner piston and liner in it.
Okay.
And I have a full open header, and I'm running I'm running like the Venturi setup of the LA 46. You know, a 280 with a 156. And it runs, it flies nice. Don't get me wrong, but it's just a good running Fox 35 that's done by that somebody knows what they're doing.
Okay, now a built motor would be different. Yes,
right.
I'll go along with it. You get one with a stuffed back plate and a Hemi head and all that. You're going to make more torque.
But I'm curious how mine's going to be.
But a stock,
I'm thinking about Fox starting 35. Back to work on mine. Oh, sorry.
That's all right.
I was thinking about starting back to work on mine in maybe 2 airplanes from now. I'll be real curious how it pulls because it's got the wankle on the nose.
Wankle, wow.
Wankle.
That's bold.
A Wankle 30 makes the power of a 40, but drinks fuel like a 60.
You got it.
I have a bit of experience with those in RC planes, as well as my brother was the head mechanic at the local Mazda dealership when they first came out. And the trick to those motors is don't let them get too hot, because once the seals get hot one time, they don't seal right. The motor loses a whole lot of power.
Yeah, I put this together back in '78, just before I quit build models, and I went overseas with the Army. And actually, I got it right here if you guys want to see. It's a bit different.
Sure. That's a great little motor.
I got one. I try to run it, and I can't get it to run.
Probably the carburetor. Or it may have gotten too hot.
It doesn't even pop.
Oh, it's probably got too hot then. You probably have to ask somebody to rebuild the seals in. A Nobler with a Wankle on the front.
Wow.
Now that is, let me get a picture. Wait a minute, put it back. Wow. Bring it back.
That's pretty wild.
That's the first one I've ever seen. That's cool.
That is pretty wild.
That's cool. But that little Wankle is a heck of a motor.
I might put a 2.4 in it for throttle control.
Does that have compression in it, like when you flip it?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, this one's, it's the compression that a Wankle has. It doesn't feel the same as any other engine.
No, they're mushy compared to regular engines.
Yeah, they're mushy, but this one only has bench run time on it way back when.
Being that we're on Wick, I'm going to go get mine.
Just don't let it get hot. Don't run it lean, and you'll be fine.
What I found on this thing, you can't get it too rich. I mean, shit, I remember when I first tried bench running it way back when, and I was probably running Fox fuel in it, but I had the needle valve just about screwed all the way out. You could damn near count the prop blades with your eyes, and it wouldn't quit.
Yeah. They're something. They really are something. And when they're right, they will make a load of power. But it's just 40 power. But considering it's a 30, that's pretty darn good.
Yeah, that was my Christmas present back in 76 or 77.
Mm-hmm.
I was just so lusting after that because that was the deal of the year or whatever. All the magazines were talking about it. And, saying you need to have it for your radial engine plane for the look and all this kind of stuff. So I just had to have it. My parents scrimped and got it for me. That was not a cheap engine then. That was like $150 in the mid 70s.
Back then, yes, it sure was.
Yeah, my parents
Look at
wouldn't
'em
buy
now.
me a Fox 35 back then. It was $23.
Hey, Lynn, when I started flying, everybody wants to argue with me about it, but I still have some of the posters downstairs. A Fox 35 was $14.
Wow.
A McCoy 35 was $13, and the OS 35 was $15.
That's amazing. Wow.
I'm gonna
$1
pull
a
a
piece
box out
between them.
here and check on a few of these prices if they're on the engine
Well, I'm
boxes.
telling you, I've looked at some of the magazines and the prices
That's
were different.
amazing.
But at
Yeah.
George's Hobby Shop in Winston-Salem, it was $13, $14, and $15. I still have
Wow.
one of his sale flyers.
Well, I paid 23 Canadian for my first one back in 78 or 77.
Oh
It would have
gosh,
been
you didn't get into
77.
that late?
No, I was
Gosh.
very late. I was late getting in. Late
So there's
starter.
Al. He's going to show us his Wankel motor.
So let me
There
put
it
light
is.
on. So,
Wow,
Oh
look at
man,
that
he's
airplane.
serious. He's serious.
Very
There we
nice,
go.
Al.
Cool.
what is that?
That's sharp.
I can't get it. It
That's
doesn't
sharp,
work.
Al.
Did you try to start it with a starter, Al?
Yeah,
It still wouldn't even pop, huh?
not a pop.
Is that a 30 as well?
A
Yeah,
what?
that's all I had.
Is that a 30?
No, they made a 49.
They did?
Yep.
All right, I missed that.
It was available till about 5 years ago.
I missed that one. But I
Just
got
pulled
out of
Fox 36 RC back in those days. 29.95.
all I'd ever seen the Wankel was the 30. But I got out right after that came out, just a year or two after that got out. I got out of everything but sailplane for about 10 years.
Is that a DR8, Al?
I don't know what the hell it is. I didn't-
Is it a RC? Is it a RC airplane?
no, it's a scale. It has
Ah,
a scale.
awesome. That is
Oh,
so
okay.
cool.
Cool.
Outstanding.
Okay, guys, back in mid 70s,
I picked it up at
Super
the swap.
Tagger,
Wait,
sorry,
let Al
Super
finish.
Tagger 35, $42.30. That is beautiful, Al.
I'm trying to, I don't even know what the hell it says. It says something on the can't even see what it says. Wankel. N.
NSU.
Oh wait.
They were licensed built actually by OS
Oh,
from
Oh,
NSU
yeah.
Wankel.
It says
which was
ASU or NS?
NSU, November Sierra Uniform.
Okay, and what's that mean?
That's the company in Germany that held the rights to the Wankel. They were a division of Gropner, and OS built them under license.
So what size is this thing?
That
That's a
one's a 30.
That's a 30?
Yeah.
Because the guy that he has a. Okay. I don't know, it looks like something by 4.5. It's a 10.5 by 4.5 prop on it. That's an APC.
Yeah, that's way smaller prop than it can run.
That
It's
thing's got an
so much
incredible,
torque.
it's got an incredible amount of torque.
Oh, really?
Oh
Yeah.
yeah, that's like a matchstick.
So you
on it.
just started, the glow driver goes here.
Yep.
Yeah.
And here's the exhaust and the carburetor's in there.
Yep.
Yeah.
And I couldn't even get it to pop. I primed it, nothing.
Well, you have to, the seals are very important in those, but the funny thing about them is it seemed like when I ran mine, the first few times I ran it, I had to use a starter to start it.
Right.
And the more I ran the motor, the more it ran in, the easier it started. It got to where you could fire it up one flip, but it didn't start that way.
Well, this guy was a scale flyer, and, he didn't really abuse anything. I don't think there's much time on it.
There's probably
Most
just
scale
the
guys
usual
don't.
caster gun
What's that?
build up in it.
Most scale guys don't put much time on them.
Yeah.
90% of the guys that used to come to the 4A contest here in Winston-Salem would come and their first official flight was their first or second flight on the airplane.
Yeah.
I thought, how in the world can you do that? He said, well, they don't last long. So we like to get as much mileage on them as we can.
It barely has any pop to it.
Yeah, you know what probably is, Al? if it's been sitting a long time, and I expect the same with mine,
Probably dry.
it's probably
Yeah.
just gummed up with castor shit, and you just got to clean it.
All right. Well, I'll have to, when I get ambitious again, I'll try to get it going.
You know, when you figure the value of the dollar back then, and back in the 70s, our dollar was about the same value as yours. I got a box here from my first Super Tiger 35 Combat RC engine. It's $43.70. That would have been in about 74 or 75. So engines have never been cheap, really, if you get down to it. Like my first 46 that I got here, it was $81 regular list, and I got it on sale for $42.30.
Hey, Danny, thanks for making it in.
Hey, Danny.
Hey,
Good to see you,
howdy,
bud.
everybody.
Good to see you, Danny.
So if you guys come up here right now, you need ice skates to get around pretty well. We've had like 4 days of freezing rain, and we're supposed to have above freezing temperatures tomorrow, but it's supposed to be 18, 20 knot winds. So it's just going to be a joy to travel.
Looks
Oh,
like
yeah.
it.
He's funny.
We have 8 to 12 inches of snow coming tonight.
Single digits.
Yeah, we had that about a week ago, and now it kind of melted down with the rain, and it's just all of the side streets are just shit to drive on. So I've just been driving my 4-wheel drive. I haven't been bothered with my van or my car.
You can forget the van in that kind of weather.
Yeah.
That's asking for an accident. I used to have one. I drove vans for many years, and that's asking for an accident in that kind of weather. Well,
Yeah,
I was
I
just looking
got
at our weather. I was wondering what the deal was for our weather for tomorrow, and it says today 40%, tomorrow 90% chance of thunderstorm. So, but 70 degrees. So
It's been raining here all day.
yeah, that's what my daughter's been telling me. It's been just nasty in Columbia. Now you've been to IKEA too.
Sorry?
Your glass you were drinking out of, you've been to IKEA as well. That's where I get my glasses. I have them just like that.
Mine's a bit specific. 408 Tactical Helicopter Squadron out of Edmonton here.
Holy cat.
I think it was actually Walmart, but yeah.
Walmart, they sell those too? Is it plastic or glass?
Plastic.
Oh, okay, that's Walmart.
You bet.
That's Walmart. The glass ones come from IKEA, and they're pretty good quality because they've held up a long time. We've had them a long time.
Yeah,
They
me
still
too.
work.
I've got those same ones, Phil. I'm sure I'll grab one, see if it's the same as yours.
You don't have to put them together? From IKEA, do you have to put them together?
Now we're in a glass.
No.
Comes
No,
with a
it's
little
one of the
Allen
few-
wrench.
Yeah, one of the few things that comes ready to go.
A few years ago, when the founder of IKEA died, I kind of joked and said that what's his coffin come with an Allen wrench to put it together?
Probably
Oh,
so.
Lord. The only thing that gets me about IKEA, I go in there and everything's written in Swedish. And since I don't read Swedish.
Well,
I
you
just
know what
wonder
IKEA stands for. This is coming from a cabinet maker. You know what the word IKEA
what?
comes from?
Hard
it's,
to make.
It's Swedish. It means you've been screwed.
Well, I tell you what, they got some neat stuff, but they got some junk too. I mean, it's all their stuff's put together with particle board. That's what I hate. I'm a woodworker. I hate particle board.
I
The
heard
only
that
thing
their main
particle-
plant was actually in Russia.
It could be. The only thing gets me, the only thing I have found particle board is good for is I like building molded fuselages. And it's real good for the profile. And then you put the formers on top of it.
Yeah, Tom is
That's the only thing I can.
back to model airplane.
Yeah.
That's the only thing I can find that they're good for.
Very good,
It's,
Tom. I was asleep at the wheel. Thank you.
I put
There's a
some.
guy
Hey,
on
while-
here.
Put
There's a
some
guy on
while we're
here
waiting
who
on
wants to, hang on, you guys. There's a guy who's been waiting for an answer. His question is what motor is Mike going to use on his Axioma? I've been waiting for Mike to and Sam to get in the kitchen So that's why I haven't answered your question, night nav. So whenever Mike comes back, we'll find out. He's probably listening, but he's probably busy getting the plane in position.
Oh,
Hey, while we're
Charles,
waiting-
I'm going to shut down, but I posted before. Been kind of curious. Has anyone bothered checking in on John's cat? Because it was always on his lap and he
I
was
think
patting
his
it.
His stepdaughter.
I think stepdaughter. is
Oh,
taking care
good,
of it.
because I posted a couple of times on Stunthangar. and
Wait a
nobody
minute, what
responded.
happened? What happened?
To
Well,
John Miller.
John Miller, I've been trying to get in touch with him for a week. I can't, his
Yeah,
mailbox is full.
in the
He's in the
hospital.
hospital.
Oh, no. For what?
COVID.
Oh, no. Oh, shoot. That's a shame.
But I
Well-
hear he's doing better, Phil. He was doing better. Gordon spoke to him and had a intellectual conversation at least. So
Well, that's good. I'm glad to hear it because he's a great guy.
yeah,
Oh,
he is.
hell yeah. And what would Christmas be for us without him? We need
Yeah.
our
Yeah,
Santa.
really.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
what
we gotta
caused him
get
to
Santa
get
healthy.
sick.
Yeah.
So Mike,
I'm
do you hear
telling
my
you what.
question, Mike, from a person in the chat? His name is Night Nav. He asked, "What motor are you going to put in your Axioma?"
Badass 7515.
Thank you, Mike.
Probably a
35,
35, 15.
15.
Yeah, that's right. Hang on.
75, 15.
I
Now
don't-
you get a big ass motor.
Yeah, I'm not,
Do what?
not an electric guy, man. I was going from memory. I should have been looking at my cheat sheet. But there she is all together. Now,
Hey,
Phil,
Mr. Big.
you said it didn't go together in 5 minutes. Sam and I put this together in 13 minutes, so that's not too bad.
Not too bad for your first time.
13 minutes for the first time. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I will let me see if I can see myself big here. Back up, Sam. There she is.
Cool, man.
Very pretty.
Very
Hey,
nice.
Mike, hook a real short set of lines on there and let
Sam,
Sam spin and fly it, freehand or whatever.
No, I
Yeah,
don't think
quick fly it.
I don't think so, Steve. That's not going to happen. Man.
I seen him do it on videos. He's really good at it.
Very nice, Mike. That looks
Yeah,
great.
he was
Very
better
pretty.
It
playing.
does.
I like the paint job too. It's nice.
Mhm.
And if anyone's curious about weight,
That's exactly what I was thinking.
well, I had Sam bring out the scale. So I'm gonna pop it on the scale here for the first time. Of course, there's nothing in it, right? This is
Right.
just, let me get to ounces here.
$38.
8.6 ounces.
Whoa! Wow.
8.6 for the whole airframe?
That's got way more than that. That'd end up being a
That's got to be 8. Yeah.
I'm sorry.
38.
No, I'm on ounces here, man. It's like 9 ounces, 9.8, flashing to 10.
Was that zeroed before you put it on it?
It's more than 9 ounces.
Yeah.
It's gotta be.
Let me make
First
sure I
off,
got pounds and ounces.
all right.
Yeah, that's kind of low. I know I have 9 ounces in my pair of wings.
Guys, I'm telling you, it's not going over a pound. Let me weigh it in grams. Maybe my scale's screwed up.
Heck, even Billywood isn't that good, I don't think.
Yeah.
All right, let me go in grams and see what's up. 282 grams.
No, that's not right either. That's 10 ounces.
Yeah, that's less than.
Boy.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know what to tell you, man. I mean,
Do a
You gotta-
comparison.
You gotta
Does that scale on a hard surface?
no, it's not. It's on a top.
Ah, you
There we go.
Put it on a hard
Yeah.
surface. We'll see
Yeah.
what we get.
Yeah, it's not. I'm sorry. I had a towel down to put the airplane together. Let's try that again, okay? Sorry, I didn't even think about that. But yeah, that would have been crazy, right?
Yeah, your whole airplane would have weighed
You could have used rubber
20
bands.
some ounces.
All right, let's see what happens now. There we go. She went up. Thanks for the
36.
reminder. 2 and 7. So 32 and 7, 39 ounces.
That makes more sense.
Like
You were
40
pretty damn close, Mark, at 38.
Yeah, it's 2 and 7. So 39 ounces without anything in it.
Okay.
So
That
Mike, I have a
sounds pretty
question,
awesome.
Mike. As a appearance judging, what would you give that finish you got?
Well, nothing, because
No,
got
okay.
I
I
mean,
mean,
as
if
far
the
as
guy who
quality.
built it was at the Nats with that airplane, what would you give him for it?
Man, to be honest, I think it's a solid
17.
it's a solid 16 or 17.
Yeah.
Wow.
I don't think it's a 17. I think it's a solid 16. I think it's a solid 16.
Reason why I ask is we really can't tell by the video how good the finish is. I can see it shine, but
It's good, but
It's you should have had him put some checkerboard on the bottom of the wing.
yeah, there's a lot of problem with communication with the guy 'cause he doesn't speak English, and he's it's
Yeah.
all a little translator, so it's a little difficult.
It looks good.
No, it looks
Make it
fantastic.
international. Put,
I'm just
put
saying the
Maple
bottom
Leafs
is
in
just
the bottom.
all white.
Hey, Mike, make it international. Cover the bottom with Maple Leafs.
I don't think so, man. Len will probably
Anyway, on
do
that
that.
note, good night, guys.
Len
Hey,
will
good night,
do
Robert.
that when he sees the airplane for the first time. He's gonna give Sam a bunch of Maple Leaf stickers to put on the bottom, I'm sure.
I would
probably has
never
to be-
do that.
Like hell you wouldn't.
Not on the airplane, because it's my luck that it would peel the goddamn paint off it. He'd never forgive me. There's no way.
I gotta say, it's probably a 16. I don't even think it's a 17, to be honest. Just based on what I've seen at the Nats and what I've judged the last 2 years. But,
Right.
it doesn't matter because I don't get them anyway. But
It's a sharp airplane.
Yeah.
No doubt about it.
Got a nice
I mean,
wing.
I didn't buy it to fly it at the Nats. I bought it so I have something to fly in Vegas next year, and then maybe come to some of those East Coast contests. It's an airplane I bought so I can take it on an airplane with me and show up and fly electric somewhere else at another contest that I can't drive to. I mean, that's the whole purpose that I got it for. So,
And there's lots of contests where they don't have appearance points, so it's all good.
right.
hey, Bob Gore, thanks for coming in.
Hey, when you get a chance, I got a little something I'd like to share with you guys.
Oh, fantastic.
Do you want me to do it now?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. Some time ago, I brought up the subject of modifying a fuel tank to, try to eliminate the engine shutting down in the middle of everything. I
Right.
wrecked a couple of pretty nice airplanes on account of it, and I know other people have had trouble with it. And I learned on flying lines from a guy named Hugh Oren that he was modifying these tanks to eliminate that problem. So I started doing that to my tanks, and I'm building a new Pathfinder in right now I'm getting the tank ready for it. So I hope you can see this.
Yeah, I see it.
This is the interior view of 4.5 ounce Uniflow tank.
Right.
And I have a divider in there now.
False wall,
off to the
yeah.
side there. I haven't soldered it in yet because I just haven't yet. But you can see the tube that's inside that space. That's the pickup tube that goes to the engine.
Nice.
And then when you buy this tank, that tube that's sitting there by itself is soldered to that pickup tube, and that's the Uniflow tube.
Right.
And anyway, this baffle that I built in there, you can see maybe up there at the top end, there's some holes drilled, 4 3/32 diameter holes.
Oh yeah, I see them.
Yeah, and eventually I'll solder this plate in place, and it'll be there to help with all of this. And the length of that thing is just a pinch longer than the tank itself. So when I put the base of the tank back in place, that divider in there will be up against the end of the tank to kind of keep the fuel in there in that.
I have a question for you.
Yeah.
Why do you have the Uniflow tube pointing towards the inboard side?
Well, it's just that's the position it was in when it was soldered onto the pickup tube. I'm going to straighten it up a little bit, but
yeah,
it's fairly close to the end of the tank anyway.
Right.
And I don't.
Yeah, but you want that to be straight.
Yeah,
you
but
want it parallel. You know, you want that right up against that baffle, the end of it.
Okay.
Because
that's just the Uniflow tube now. That is the Uniflow tube. That's the gas coming from your muffler or whatever.
Yeah, because when that comes uncovered with fuel, it's going to go richer.
That's what they say. I haven't really noticed that, but maybe I'm not putting enough pressure. But I do know now that I've modified these tanks this way that my engines run the same RPM for the entire flight until we're out of fuel.
No, I like the idea. It's sharp. You know, I like that baffle idea. But
I'll pull that baffle out of there so you can see it a little better. I haven't put it in yet. But it's pretty bright there. You can see the holes.
Yeah, I see the holes now.
Nothing special. But that really seems to work. And I wanted to share it with you guys because I think it's a good thing to do. When I solder the baffle in there, I'll solder the Uniflow tube to it.
Right.
And I don't solder the whole length of the baffle because, for one thing, with my soldering iron I can't reach it. But Hugh Arn said that he doesn't either. As a matter of fact, I think he just tacks it in place. But I put about 2.5, 3 inches of seam, solder down the sides of it to hold it in place.
Well, the more solder, the heavier it gets too.
Yeah, but anyhow, it's really been good, and I've just been thrilled with the way they run. And when they quit, I'm out of fuel. I don't, there's no fuel left in the tank, so it's working pretty well. So I just wanted to share that. And then
Bob, thank you.
This Pathfinder that I'm building, they go into a pretty good description of setting up the controls for that airplane. And they want to do it on a 3-inch bell crank, which surprised me. But they say that they've got it all set up to work properly for competition with that 3-inch bell crank. And they give you a design of what the control horn should look like and the dimensions and all that to get this thing right. And then they say the flaps should move 22 degrees up and down, and the elevator should move 30 degrees. So I was trying to get everything to where I could make things right. And one of the things I decided to do was, instead of having to twist so hard on the flaps to get alignment if you need to, I made this contraption here so I can move the flaps around without stressing.
Very nice.
That's nice. I like that.
And,
Very nice.
Yeah.
I just did it this way for the profile airplane because I figured if you really wanted to get the flaps uniformly one side up and the other down or whatever, you could move the spacing on the push rod that comes from the bell crank to get the other flap lined up. And then if you got to change anything for the elevator, you can adjust this one for the elevator to get everybody balanced. But at least you're not having to stress the heck out of the flaps to get them moved. And usually when I finally get them moved, it's too much and then you got to get it back. And this way you just get it where you need it.
How do you lock it? How do you lock it?
How do you lock it? Put it up close to the camera.
There's the set screw right there.
Oh, with a washer. Okay.
Yeah, that's tapped in to the backside. And
Oh, nice.
so it
Yeah,
just
that's very cool.
That is outstanding.
it
Actually,
works very well.
That's
Yeah.
about identical to what I have on my Revolution flaps.
I-
Same
you know,
idea.
That's one of the things that's why I come and listen to you guys, because I don't know hardly anything about these airplanes. So I've been inventing this stuff as I go along. And I figure there's people out there that have already crossed this bridge, but
That's a winner, that one.
Yeah, this is
well,
my
I like it.
This is my adjuster. You grab the ends and bend
Hang
them.
on a second. Let me see. Hang on now. Where are you at?
What's that?
There he
Okay.
is. Okay.
There you are. Show us again,
Oh
Al.
no, I was just joking. I said I just grab my thumbs and fingers and bend.
Oh,
Yeah.
That's my
I thought you
adjuster.
had something already machined up.
Actually, my friends, they make these wood plank panels, and then they put over the ends of the ailerons, and they grab the wire,
Right,
and distribute the force of your fingers,
right.
and then
They
twist.
twist it, yeah. Yeah, that's how I used to do it too.
Yeah, but they make them out of plywood, little plywood pieces.
Right.
One
One thing I wanted to show you guys, being how they say that, they want these angles, the degree of the movement to be at a certain point. I thought, well, how am I going to control that for the rear? So I made this deal here that will slide up and down for the rear,
Very nice.
for the elevator. And it locks also with a screw over here. And it's on the spreader that goes between the two flaps,
Very
two
nice.
elevators.
What airplane is this?
It's a Pathfinder.
Well, I've seen that before, something similar.
I wouldn't be surprised.
Yeah,
But
what
anyway.
you do is, if you have to go lower, Bob, you flip that around so the screw's
Yes,
on the top.
yeah, just flip it over.
Right. Yep.
Yeah, yeah, it works fine. So anyhow, I just wanted to show that to you guys.
I appreciate that, Bob. Thank you
You're
very
making
much.
that? You made that stuff? You made it or you purchased it?
No, I just made it up here at home.
Good
You
job.
keep showing stuff that neat, you're gonna have to start getting requests from people like me to make me a set of horns. Cause I
Yeah,
have a
I-
Pathfinder downstairs I'm building.
Yeah, I want one of those horns. I think that's just fantastic.
Hey,
All right, I do have one question.
We pay 50 cents an hour.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
And we're cheap.
Yes, Tom.
I have a question though. Why does everybody, that you're the second one I've seen that puts the adjuster on the inboard flap instead of the outboard flap? Why?
I just did it because, this profile airplane, it was easier for me to just move everything to the other side of the fuselage as far as this adjuster is concerned. But I figured that if I were doing it with, for a full fuselage airplane, I would make it with adjustments on both sides.
I was going
Which is-
to do, I think
Why would you
I want to
complicate
use that.
things?
I think I want to steal that idea, but I think I want to move the outboard flap because that's the one I always end up having
Yeah,
to tweak.
I agree. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, but
So
what
I'm-
it is, if you go with different lines, if you start using the new lines, you
Yeah.
may not need a lot of flap, need to adjust it on the outboard wing anymore.
Well, that's probably true because they don't weigh nothing. That's
And
what surprised me when I made up a set of them. And you can take the things and just throw them in a box. And I mean, if you can untangle it, it's not going to hurt it. It's wild there, but they weigh nothing.
Yeah, they're
just
half
weighing
the
it.
weight of steel or less.
Yeah, I lay less than that.
Yeah,
But
less.
I had them laid out in the front yard. I was going to try to pull test them, and my dog ran through them, and they're all
That
messed
didn't
up
hurt
all
'em.
over the front yard. Had they been steel, they'd have been ruined. Wrap
sure.
them up, throw them in the trash can, and forget it. These things, it took me 10 minutes to straighten them out, but they're straight. But by the time they did that, I was so frustrated. I just wound them up and put them back, and I'll try pull testing them tomorrow maybe. I've been trying to do this for a week, and every time I get in the yard and think I'm going to pull test these things, something happens. I can't find help or something happens. So I don't know. I'll get it done eventually. It's not bad when you're just trying to do it, but when you're trying to do it and measure everything, the measuring is the part that I'm finding to be a challenge. So I'll get it eventually.
Yeah, you'll find you'll get a system.
Hey, Phil,
Yeah.
how'd you train your dog to pull test the lines for you?
This little terrorist come pre-trained, let me tell you. He is so smart, but he is so inquisitive. He wants to be in the middle of everything. And he's not happy unless he's just wrapped up in the middle of everything. You stop and talk to a neighbor and leave 10 feet of lead out, he will have it wrapped around my feet 4 times. I mean, he loves to run around me. I went to take a step. I couldn't step more than 6 inches. It was ridiculous. He's a terrorist, I'm telling you.
Brings
He's a
all new
sweet
meaning to running circles around you.
Hey, Tom, now it's time for you to show your plane.
It's a control line dog, man.
Yeah, control line dog.
So what'd you do new?
I built a set of landing gear for it.
Oh, nice.
Oh, okay.
Cool.
Yeah.
And then I just made a tail skid out of plywood and glued that on.
That looks pretty cool.
Nice.
Yeah.
Good gracious.
Look at that.
Talk about a skinny fuselage. Now he's got one.
Did you make up a set of skis yet so you can take it out and try it before June?
I was thinking about that. So
you made that out of an FAI, didn't you?
Yeah, this is
I know where you got that idea.
This came from Mike and Sam Lunk. He pulled it out of the trash at the Nats for me when I was there.
This is exactly what I'm working on. A disposable trainer. It's perfect.
Yep.
Outstanding. Good
That's
job.
pretty slick.
Yeah, you got to make up skis and stick on there because hell, you won't be able to test flight until June.
I know.
How's the
Just take the
fuselage
gear
coming,
off.
Diane?
Just take the gear off. It's made to fly without wheels.
I tell you.
How's the fuselage coming, Tryon?
It's just coming pretty good.
Yeah, I'm sure.
I have finished the battery compartment. Not sure if you can see this here.
Yeah, we can see it. Looks good.
But basically, this is what I have right now. The idea is that I'm going to cut this open when I'm done with everything. So this is going to be a hatch that's going to come in and
Side
out.
load, yeah, cool.
And the battery is just going to go like this. I'm going to connect the leads. It's going to go like this and drop down. And it's going to fit in between these two guys down here.
Sounds neat.
That it's going to be on the outside though.
And this is on the outboard, yeah.
Oh, okay.
And this will be on the inboard. So the battery is gonna sit inside, kind of like this. You see?
Yeah, but inertia will hold it in then.
Yeah. Of course, I'm gonna have a little spacer in here, a 3/16 spacers that I still have to glue in there, which gonna go like this inside. Okay.
Yeah.
So the battery is going to sit on top of this guy, okay? So that's, pretty much the direction I'm going to. And that stick, of course,
That's neat,
is
right?
long and wants to.
That's neat.
Yeah, but it was kind of simple. All you will just do it with balsa wood. You get like this is a 3/16 by 3/8. This is a 316 by 3/4. Okay, that's on the inboard side. And I made some formers like this. And the idea is that the motor is going to go through the hatch like this. It's going to go inside the hatch. I'm going to get lines like this. I can rotate and just push it through like this.
Yeah.
And now imagine the same thing, but in reverse. So I'm going through this opening here. I'm going like that. And it goes to the nose ring through the hole like this.
Yeah.
So it goes to the nose ring up, obviously the other direction around. And from here I can just nudge him up and go into the nose ring and bolt it in. Right?
Cool.
And then the hatch is going to be just the battery, and the battery is going to go through the hatch. Actually, I'm going to have the lead out, just connect them, slide the battery in, and inside the hatch, I'm going to have, I'm not sure if you can see this here, but there's, oh, you see the spacer in here?
Oh, yeah. You got a place for Velcro.
I have these Velcro strips that will go and slide right like that.
Oh,
And you're going to force me to build a dadgum Vector, yeah. That's just real. That's really nice. No, I'm on
nice
scratch
idea.
build. I don't even.
So
my wife says, "Lord, not another kit, not another device." No, I'm gonna scratch build it.
So here you go.
That's
Very
awesome.
nice.
That's slick.
This is a
That's slick.
Velcro,
That's cool.
and it's gonna go
around the battery. Perfect.
Around the battery, and the battery, the Velcro is gonna be like this.
Yeah.
And if you cannot see, but these blades here, they are not in line with these ones. Okay.
Okay.
Right.
Yeah.
They're a little bit wider to accommodate for the width of the Velcro.
Right.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
So mainly this here is just a support for the other end of the battery. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it can lay on there.
So it doesn't do that, right?
Yeah. Exactly.
It's just a support for that. And it's also support for the transfer the load here through this beam, and so you can have the open hatch and it will not influence anything in here.
Okay.
That's
very
about,
neat, Trey.
Cool.
And obviously the landing gear is going to be like this in here, something like that.
Perfect.
Yeah, right in there. Cool.
Okay. So I still have to cut it out because it's actually going to go to this.
Yeah, I was gonna say, yeah, it's got to go up to that bulkhead.
Yeah. So, but I still have to cut out some things and put spacer in there, stuff like that.
Spacers, yeah, that's good.
But this is gonna be the nose. So right now, what I'm gonna do, I already put a little bit of bone into it, as you can see.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's not enough. But anyways, this whole front is gonna be squeezed in like this, and I'm going to glue my engine mount, which is gonna be right in here, like that.
That's perfect.
And obviously, you know, you're gonna have, you know, just you're gonna have to shape some things and put some glue some balsa wood around here, you know, to fill in the blocks and make something in there to look like a nicer nose and stuff like that. And I think I'm gonna put this motor in it after all.
28, 26.
Are you not going to use it in the Prowler now?
What?
You're not going to use it in that other airplane?
Prowler has a Joker in it.
Oh, okay. I thought you were originally going to put that in that Prowler.
Yeah, Prowler, it's already kind of nose heavy.
Oh, okay.
At least more nose heavy than I like it to be. I want to, I guess on the Prowler is going to be just, the motor is lighter. It's a lighter motor with the, perhaps the same battery. I'm hoping to use this 4S 2200.
Oh, okay.
If not, I'm going to use the 4S 2800 or something like that. I think it's going to be enough. But since the motor is so big, and I'm going to only use this 11.6 on it, This is not exactly a big prop for an axis. Should be a pretty small prop for this size motor. And yeah, but you know, as you can see, I have this here. The ESC can go, I guess it can go on the bottom like this. I can also put it on the top, anywhere in here, because it doesn't take space. I also have the lead outs that can go through this cutout quite nicely for an ESC, right?
Oh yeah, yeah.
I think I'm gonna end up with it on the bottom because it's the most logical, easy way to do. Because if I put it here, then I'm gonna have a tough time getting the lead outs to the motor, and because the motor is so long, I'm not sure if you can see kind of this position here. It's so close to this panel. It's very close to this panel here. Then when you take your lines from the ESC from over there, I guess you have to bend them down real hard because your only access is from here, honestly, right? So I guess, you know, for now it's going to go on the bottom. And you guys already saw the other stuff that's built for this fuselage.
How fast do you spin that motor with a 6-inch prop?
I never tack them.
It's got to be like
Never
that.
tack my motors.
No.
But this is the block that's gonna go in here.
A turtle deck.
Yeah,
That's pretty
that
slow.
is the one that this is the one that I molded, and I also have this block. Just give me a second, guys. There you go. There you go. So if you remember a long time ago, I showed you how I molded these guys.
Yeah, I remember.
Okay.
I was here.
Look at that.
That's,
It still
that's
maintains
beautiful.
the same exact shape they were last time. And
Beautiful.
And on the bottom, obviously this guy is going to go on the bottom like this.
Yep.
And this is going to go almost all the way to the front. But obviously here at the front, I'm going to have to work something out. And you can see I have plenty of room for the ESC in here. I mean, it's not even anything to worry about.
Yeah.
You guys see this?
Yeah.
So this would be the ESC right here. Kind of like that. So what can I say? You know, everything is quite comfortable. Position-wise, there's plenty of space in here. From the ESC to the bottom of the battery, there's plenty of airflow through here. It's going to have airflow through the gap in here. Also, is going to be some airflow from the top block here, which is going to be like that. You see that?
Wow. Yeah.
So,
lots of airflow.
So we have airflow everywhere. Nothing is impeded. Nothing is just, it's all open.
Cool.
It's just a matter of to find a good way to exhaust all this air to allow it to exit. So, but yeah, I use the original sides and I've added some things to them. So that's, you know, this is what I'm doing right now. I'm just fooling
It's
around.
too bad you couldn't make
This is playtime, man.
Make some kind of hole in the back for the air to exit out the back of the airplane.
Of course, yeah, it's probably in the shelf somewhere. I'm gonna make like probably on the bottom some holes for it to exit. So most likely it's gonna be in the back side. About if I was guessing, to about here, and there would be put in perspective somewhere over here in this area. So,
Charles, how are you making it? out with your airplane?
Huh?
Oh, I'm still trimming it out. I haven't had a chance to jig it up yet. So I actually put an adjustable push rod between the flap horn and the elevator horn. And I put about 7 trim flights today of lengthening the push rod length to advance the up elevator.
Okay.
And yeah, a little bit better. Still is a work in progress.
Is it changing the flying posture?
What do you mean?
Like when you're, well, giving it more, did it drop the tail or is it still
Just
flying?
a little bit, yeah. Just my last trim, I could see the tail just drop just a little bit today. Yeah, my last
And how's
flight.
that affecting your turns?
It still turns, still more responsive on the outsides compared to the insides.
Put some skinny wheels on it yet?
No, I haven't done that yet. No.
Did you try adjusting the handle? Well, the next thing is make the spacing for the.
Yeah, I haven't done that yet. Yeah, I've been trying to work it with the line spacing as wide as it can be right now on both of them. I haven't started to bring up the line space on the bottom, but that is an option.
And you have it comfortable flying. You know, you feel you have it centered right. For your
Well,
hand.
as I adjust the push rod, I needed to change the. I still on my last flight, I probably could have either I could have gotten neutral a little bit better. So I just got tired, and it was cold. I know it's not cold compared to where you're at, but it started getting kind of cold.
What do you mean?
Hey, Tom, tell them about cold.
I know. That's freezing cold.
It's cold. It's
I mean, I don't
71.
have much covering, so I get cold kind of easy out there.
Hey, you know what? It looks like you're getting rain for a week there where you're at.
How's that work with electrics?
I seen the extended forecast there for San Diego, and it's like rain all next week, heavy rain.
Okay, well, it gives me an excuse to do some work on precious balsa.
Yeah. Get you back to a real motor. I'm only kidding.
Yeah,
I'm only joking.
In his SB, he has a real motor.
Hey, Steven, thanks for coming in.
In your planes, you have engines.
Yeah, it's all the same. It's all in good fun.
You got to go back to that big Stalker 81 and throw some heat off.
There you go.
Yep.
Hey, Steve, you got your tut?
Yeah, and I can't find a male to male to try it out.
Did you send me a check yet?
I did.
Oh, okay.
You haven't got it yet?
No.
Once you get it, don't cash it till next year.
I'm going to say goodnight, guys. I got to open up and go to work tomorrow.
All right. Hey,
have a good night, Al.
Yeah, good seeing
you. Before you go, Al, have you sent Gary a picture yet of a plane for the calendar next year?
You talking to me?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh.
You talking to me?
You talking to me?
You talking to me?
You talking to me?
Yeah, so Gary puts this calendar together every year.
Okay.
And I know it's getting toward, this is the last month, and matter of fact, I haven't sent my picture in yet myself.
Okay,
But,
who do you send it to?
To Gary.
When he's
Gary's
awake.
Sinclair.
Oh, that's okay. You're not that cute.
Al, have you got the calendar before or not?
No,
No.
probably not.
Oh, you haven't
so-
got.
So we have these calendars,
show
Gary.
the calendar ones.
And he's like, let me see here. That's October, November.
Make yourself big, Charles.
Let me do this. Let me see it.
It worked.
You could get a
So
job.
here's
I
like,
didn't say make yourself a smart ass. I said make yourself big.
so here's like Chris Cox's plane for
Hellcat.
November. And let me see here. This was Tom in September.
Okay, nice.
And so, yeah, so that's what I'm saying.
When was my picture in there, Charles?
You're not cute enough. Sorry.
You know, it's mostly Samantha. I think you're just next to
No,
her.
she photobombed me.
But here's last year's picture of Steven.
I'll have to send a picture of my slasher in.
See, you see Steven there in the yellow shirt? That's
No, I only
Steven.
see Samantha.
Yeah.
Yeah, I only see Samantha.
So anyways, Gary Sinclair is on Stunthangar. Just PM him and get his address and or email address, and then you
Damn,
can send
you
it to
keep
him.
that right on your desk, do you, Al?
It's right here, yeah.
I got like 6 of them things. I got them from everybody. Bought more and had them send me more and stuff. But
So just everybody, just want to remind me before we end the show to forward some pictures, and I haven't done it yet, so I feel guilty. I hope you're critical, but send Gary some pictures of your plane and an explanation of what the plane is and all that kind of stuff. Yes, Phil? You're muted, Phil.
What works better, a picture or electronic? I forgot. Al, take care. We'll see you Monday. I'll just tell you about the prop Monday.
Yep.
Night, Al.
have a fun day at work, Al.
Yeah.
So Al, Gary, did you hear Philip's question?
The digital, better.
Okay, I'll send you digital. I can mail that straight to you.
Yeah.
Hey, Gary, when you get a chance, throw your email up there so I can write it down.
Yeah, and I'll call Steve and get it because I'm having a time going back and forth tonight. I've got your address, but I don't have your email address.
I got it someplace, but I can't find it.
I have his email address. If you want to,
I might call you and get it then.
I can forward it to Gary.
Yeah, you can. If you got it, you can forward it to me then, Charles.
I will.
All right. That'll be great. Because I have it written on something, and you think I can find that piece of paper I wrote it down on? No.
Get you a book and just write everything in a book. That's the only way I keep up with anything.
Hey, I found my meter.
You did?
Finally.
Good deal.
After 7 months.
Oh my God.
And you know how you always find stuff when you're looking for something else? I got one of these portable jumper batteries or whatever. It's got jumper.
Yeah.
So I wanted to make sure it was charged for winter just in case someone needed a jump. When I pick it up, it was kind of leaning. It was sitting on top of my meter. So I think I was driving too fast and it jumped up on that meter. So when I looked in there, I never seen it. But when I picked it up off there, I'm like, holy shit, there's the meter. So I found my $250 meter.
All right. Well, you guys, we're going to end the stream pretty soon. We've had a very good show. And I think we had like 16 people in here tonight. And we had as many as looks like 32 viewers and 16 inside here. Had some show and tells, you saw Mike Lonke's Axioma being actually not being assembled, but assembled. We saw it in pieces. Then we had some conversation with Brendan about his electrical system. You missed that, Denny. He's having some challenges with his electrical system. Longer than 4 minutes. And trying to remember what else we talked about. But it was a good show. So hey, it's the weekend. Hopefully you can go out there in your shop or go flying. Come back Monday with some show and tells. Tell us what's going on. By the way, Denny, I do like your virtual background. That's pretty nice.
It's in honor of John Miller.
Hey, that's a good idea. I thought
cool.
I recognized the Pathfinder.
Yep.
And anyway, so I'm going to end the stream, but we are going to continue on. And we'll be back Monday. Same bat time, same bat channel. We will